Amen Thompson. I don't know if there's anything I can say that I haven't said already about Amen Thompson. And I'm not going to just start glazing and start saying, oh, I told you guys, Magic Johnson with athleticism. He's not Magic Johnson with athleticism. But what I do think is, and I think I've said this before, at worst, in my opinion, at worst, he is what Ben Simmons was supposed to be.
I literally just heard that today. I did. I've heard
that's
that.
That's what I think he is. At worst, I think he's what Ben Simmons was.
Ben Simmons was never going to be this good.
Right. Yes, he was, Ron. He was on the all-pro team.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to disagree with Ron because I thought Ben Simmons was a special prospect, and I think a lot of things went wrong. But I think what Ben Simmons was supposed to be is what Amen Thompson is going to be.
The only reason why I'm saying this, Mars, is because if Amen Thompson would have went to LSU and we would have got to see a whole 30-game college season, I promise you we will be talking about him like Ben or even better than Ben. We just seen him in OTE and everybody wrote it off like, oh, he's running around with a bunch of high school kids and this, that, and the third. If he would have went and played in the SEC for 30 games, ACC, Pac-12, Big Ten, I promise you, we will be singing Amen's praises, and it will be a whole. We wouldn't even need to be doing this because everybody would already be on board.
But Ron, why does it make a difference when we singing his praises? I mean, sure, he came out of the OTE, and it wasn't really a touted league, but it was obvious watching him from an athleticism skill point, from an IQ skill point. Watching him, he's a quick study. He looks like he knows the game, and athletically, he can compete with anybody on any level.
If it was obvious, why was I up here fighting with you guys?
Because Amen is one of them kids that Penn was talking about. Amen is one of those kids that not exactly what Penn was talking about, but along those lines. Where going to college might have been bad for him. You know what I'm saying? Going this route.
That's the case, that would have been that for Ben Simmons.
Not because he's too good to go to college, but because if he would have went to college, a lot of his faults would have been displayed.
They might have screwed him up.
And they might have screwed him up. Not even that. It's just that a lot of his flaws would have been spotlighted in college, whereas he was able to rely on athleticism and get to the league to where he can develop to the player that he's supposed to be. Now, I think that Amen Thompson is a very good young player. I still got some of the same concerns, but I still think he's a very good player. I think he's a championship level role player, a very important piece to a championship team. I think that he's going to be good. I think he's going to have a solid career, but I just don't think he's a superstar you want me to think he is, Ron.
Can I clarify something real quick?
Go ahead, Mars.
I got a bit ahead of myself. He's not at worst what Ben Simmons was supposed to be, because what Ben Simmons was supposed to be, at least in my mind, was one of the 10 best players in the league. I'm not saying at worst Amen Thompson is one of the 10 best players in the league.
Why,
dominating without a jump shot? I don't think that's at worst. Because a worst case outcome, saying someone's worst case outcome is one of the 10 best players in the sport, I think that's just wrong for like anyone really. Like unless like Wemby.
If you look,
worst case scenario is never meant to be that good. Worst case scenario is meant to be if everything goes wrong. That means Amen Thompson right now, because this is the worst case scenario, what he is right now, assuming he never gets better. This isn't what Ben Simmons was supposed to be right now. So I was wrong to say that. I'm not saying he's what.
I don't know if you're wrong to say that, Mars. And the reason
is right now Amen Thompson as good as Ben Simmons was supposed to be.
As of today?
Yes, as of today.
No.
Then I'm wrong, because this is the worst he's going to be. And if right now he's not what Ben Simmons was, then I'm wrong to say at worst he's Ben Simmons, what Ben Simmons was supposed to be. Because if he never gets better, this is the worst case scenario. And he's not Ben Simmons. So I want to clarify that.
Okay.
I'm wrong to say that. But what I am going to rephrase it to be is right now, Amen Thompson is a championship level player. That doesn't mean he's going to be your best player on a championship team. But on any team that's able to contend, any team that's building a contender, Amen Thompson helps that team, no matter who they are. If that's the Boston Celtics, if that's the Dallas Mavericks, if that's the Houston Rockets, if they're trying to build a contender.
Sure.
Amen Thompson does not hurt championship equity. He does not make your team further away from the goal of a championship. That is extremely valuable to have, especially as a second-year player. And in my opinion, he can only get better. His handle can only get better. His jump shot can only get better. His decision-making can only get better. He's already one of the best rebounders in the sport for a wing. He's already one of the best downhill threats in the league as a wing. He's already one of the best finishers in the league as a wing. He's already one of the best passers in the league for a wing. He's already one of the best wing defenders in the NBA. The sky is the limit, in my opinion. The sky is the limit. That's how high I am.
So the stuff that we can teach him, he's got the skill set to improve on that stuff. He's not one of those guys who, this guy's only going to be this good as a shooter because his mechanics, we can't fix that. This guy is only going to be this good as a defender because athletically, he just can't compete at that level. That's not the case with Amen Thompson. And Mars, it's okay to take it there with this kid. I'm looking at this kid, and if I'm being honest with you, I think we can win it with him. This is my lead guard. And I don't think this year, I'm not going to go that far and say this year, but I think we can win it with him as our lead guard. I'm not drafting a point guard. I'm not looking for a lead guard in the draft or in free agency. I told you this yesterday, Mars. Everything that's necessary in order for him to be a great lead guard in the game, he has it. The skill set is there. The IQ is there. All the stuff, it just needs to be honed. I'm watching him do things yesterday, like take a big to the basket in the meat and potatoes of the game instead of looking away and giving the ball to somebody else. That's not something that you can teach. That's instinct, especially for a young player. That's instinct when you get the ball on the baseline and you got a slower cornet coming to you, and then I go past him, and then I shot fake in the paint, and then I get a bucket to win the game. Or when I got maybe it's me, but I feel like Jaylen Brown just looks smaller than Amen Thompson. I don't know if it's me, but he just looks smaller than him. Amen Thompson just looks bigger than him. Maybe it's me.
I think Amen got an inch on him. I want to say at least.
I think Amen is bigger than him.
And it's not just from a height standpoint. He just looks more physical than Jaylen Brown, more than anything. And getting downhill, that's instinct. I'm taking this guy to the basket and I'm scoring, and the game's going to be over with me. And I still think he's at a point where he doesn't know how to play yet, but he has all the things necessary. That's where I think he is, Ron. I think he's at a point where he doesn't know how to play yet, and I think that all the things necessary for him to be great, I think he has them. It's just a matter of teaching him how to hone those things. And him being in Houston, I don't think Ime Udoka is a bridge coach. I think he's the guy that can get him to the next level. And I think he can get this unit to the next level. I thought he did a great job last night with that game plan. Blitzing Jason Tatum, giving him different looks, getting the ball out of Jason Tatum's hands. Because he knows, take the ball out of Jason Tatum's hands when you blitz him, he's not going to come back and get the ball. He's going to watch. And what's going to happen is that offense is going to get thrown off, which is what happened yesterday. And they got thrown out of rhythm. I thought he had a great game plan. Great.
Yeah, that was actually one of the layers to the game, is obviously Ime Udoka going back to Boston, coaching against his former team, his former guys and stuff like that. And how Chill said, nobody knows players like their former coach.
Mars, you turned me on to him because this OTE thing, I wasn't a fan of it. I thought it was shtick. I thought that a lot of these players were just exactly that. They were playground guys who didn't really know how to play the game. And I felt like these two kids, they were going to make or break OTE, because if they come in the league and they flop, OTE was a joke. But if they come in and they do what Amen Thompson and Asor Thompson are doing, that gives the league credibility. And you're the one who turned me on to this kid, Amen Thompson. And I've been watching him. The more I watch him, I think you got your league guard of the future, Mars. I do.
Chill. You saying Mars turned you on to him, which I'm not saying that that's not true. You guys don't remember the episode where it was me fighting against all of you guys? You don't remember that episode?
I don't remember that episode.
When I was telling you guys athletically.
About John Wall?
Yeah, but I said it worse. He would be John Wall.
You did say that.
Remember? Remember?
Yes, you did.
And
What is I said Magic Johnson with athleticism. Yes.
And what? All right, so we both turned everybody on. But but what do we not kind of look like? Do we not kind of when he get that ball?
I don't think he's a playing guard. That's where I guess I just disagree.
No, Mars. This is what I want to clarify. Okay, this is what I want to clarify. What is the lead guard today? The lead guard isn't Stockton. The lead guard isn't Magic, right? The lead guard isn't John Wall. The lead guard is more score, get guys involved, play some defense, make good decisions. The lead guard isn't just the guy that's kind of like when I look. And
the only thing he does better at that than John Wall is play defense. So I'm just trying to get like let's move. But the other stuff he does, John Wall does miles better than him. So let's stop comparing him to John Wall.
That's the same argument you're giving over a bunch of other people.
But he's not Scottie Pippen. So let's stop.
Am I off to think that he kind of like a Ron Artest? I mean, that's what I see in him more than anything.
That's who I see.
I see a Ron Artest in him.
I've heard Ron Artest comparisons.
I see Scottie Pippen.
Ron Artest.
Yeah, I don't see him as a lead guard, but I do see him as I guess what you guys call a point of attack defender. I see him guarding lead guards. You see what I'm saying? Playing that position like that.
Yeah,
that's what you know what I'm saying. But as far as offensively, you know, he has the ability to play the perimeter and the interior. And he has that physicality that you can see in him, and like you said, he has that intelligence. You can see it is very early in his game style and his gameplay, and he has the right coach and the game and the team to do it as well to help him develop. So I see a lot of Ron Artest in him.
Jay, what's the difference between him and Cade Cunningham today? When you watch Cade and you watch him what's the difference between them?
Cade Cunningham's a way better ball facilitator point guard. He's a true lead guard.
Sure.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, he's not, his responsibility is not to score. Defensively, we see Amen Thompson, like that's elite. Like we see that defensively, we see that right now. We haven't the leash is still on him on that team. You see what I'm saying? So we really don't know what he can be offensively, but he has the tool. He has to get better from the perimeter. He's not shooting too well from the 3-point line, but he still makes good decisions shooting the ball. That shot he took last night, like you said, the way they were trying to switch, because remember they took KP off the floor because he was in foul trouble. So they took the take foul, and then I don't know who the big man is on Boston, the big white. Cornette was trying to switch with Jaylen Brown, and they got caught off balance, and he went right at him, and he got that shot off, and it was brilliant. So again, he has the offensive ability, right? We see it there, but we haven't seen it in full potential yet. Which is, like you said, he's only in his second season. So
You know who he is, right, Chill? Now I need y'all to use your imagination with me. Use to open your minds, use your third eye, use your imagination. Okay. Amen Thompson is like a mixture of Dennis Rodman and Leandro Barbosa.
Young Dennis.
He like a mixture of Dennis Rodman and Leandro Barbosa.
You talking about young Dennis, right?
Barbosa had that quickness, though. You talking about offensively for Barbosa?
Dennis Rodman was two different people, though. The Bulls.
No. You mean Dennis Rodman defensively? You mean Rodman defensively, but Barbosa offensively? Is that what you mean?
Just a mix, just a complete
all
mix
together, just a mixture of them.
A complete mix of these players. You know what I'm saying? A mix of Dennis Rodman and Leandro Barbosa. Super fast, super aggressive. You know, good instincts. You know, rebounds the ball, plays great defense. You know what I mean? He's just a mix of those two dudes, and that's a hell of a basketball player.
Yeah,
the reason why,
that's all right, Ox, but respectfully, that's not enough.
So Jay, the reason why
too much, Ron.
Jay, the reason why I brought up Cade is because Cade is what he is today. What is he, third? I think he's third in the league in assists, something like that. I think he's in the top 10 in the league in scoring, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm in year 2, he wasn't that. In Detroit, they taught him how to play league guard.
He got hurt. So
well, he did. He got hurt. He had a calf injury, but when I say teaching somebody how to play, it's not just get them on the court. No, they have to learn, watch film, understand spacing, understand where to be on the floor. They actually taught that he didn't just become this great. He didn't just become this player that he is today. No, they taught him how to play league guard. That's what I'm thinking about with Amen Thompson. And I'm thinking about that strictly from upstairs because I see all the athleticism. I see how he is as a playmaker. I see how he can be as a passer. I brought up Cade because when I look at Cade in year 1, year 2, Cade wasn't any of these things, but Cade got better as time went on because Detroit was teaching him how to play league guard. I feel the same way about Amen Thompson. You teach this kid how to play league guard, I think he's going to be one of the better league guards in the game, like what Cade is today. Is he the same player as Cade? No, but when I watch him, he reminds me more of Scottie Pippen when I watch him.
Who wasn't a point guard?
Well, actually, I'm glad you brought that up, Miles, because Scottie Pippen was a point forward.
Okay, so let Amen be a point forward.
Okay, well. When I think about point guard and point
forward, just let
I think they live in the same. They might not live in the same house.
You think Mars? You think he has that ball facilitation ability? You think he can do that? He can lead a team and
not to be a point guard, but to be.
I mean, just saying, get about five or six assists per game.
Yeah, to be like a secondary playmaker, to be someone who handles the ball in transition and gets guys involved, who makes driving kicks. Yeah, he can do that. But you have him running pick and rolls, and you have him at the top of the key handling them. That's not going to be his. He right now, and I don't see this changing. He's not going to create advantages out of pick and roll because quite frankly, teams just are going to keep going under. But it's going to make him a driver because he's so fast he can get downhill. But you don't optimize Amen Thompson by having him as a pick and roll ball handler. That's why we drafted Reed Shepard.
In transition,
long-term,
you're saying in transition though. But you're saying in transition.
Amen Thompson.
In transition.
But he already does that in transition. He's the one who grabs and goes because he gets like 26 rebounds. So he grabs and goes, and he's the one attacking all of that. But in the half court, that's what Reed Shepard was drafted to be. Reed Shepard was meant to be the point guard. He's the one who can run pick and rolls. He can shoot out pick and rolls. He can pass. And then if you have the ball in transition, now he's he's filling the lanes on the three.
Sure.
And Amen Thompson's going. I just think he's a point forward. I think the mistake the Sixers made with Ben Simmons was they made him a point guard. I think Ben Simmons was a point forward. They drafted Markel. It was meant to be Markel at the 1 and Ben Simmons is a point forward. Markel gets hurt. They move Ben Simmons to the 1. And I think all of his flaws come out as a point guard because you're now putting the ball in some. Ben Simmons is worse than Amen offensively, in my opinion, for the simple reason he was less aggressive. So that's where I think there's a difference. Amen Thompson is a lot more aggressive as a scorer. So that's a difference. But with Ben Simmons putting the ball in his hands and teams recognizing he's not a threat to do anything outside of 6 feet, you limit your offense doing that. Amen Thompson can play off the ball better than Ben Simmons could, but you didn't get to see that with Ben Simmons because they just kept putting the ball in his hands. I think you run into similar problems if you do the same thing with Amen Thompson. He's also just not that good of a ball handler. So
no, but to touch on what you were saying, though, Chill, about the Cade Cunningham comparison. Remember, you and I talked about how players have to adapt to the pace of the NBA. And how the physicality and holding your balance and keeping your balance depending on what you're doing on the court. I think that Amen Thompson adapted to the NBA pace quicker than Cade Cunningham did. And that takes time for some players because you're not used to the physicality, including the pace and the quickness. Because the thing about the NBA players is they're allowed to keep their speed and agility while dealing with physicality and the same pace. That's what people always tell you the difference between playing an NBA player or just playing in a rec center against other guys who play college ball or semi-pro. So I think again, what I see from Amen Thompson is the physicality. He is ready physically. You're not pushing him around. He knows how to get his angles. I think, like I said, Cade Cunningham is just quicker. You know what I mean? I don't think he has that kind of athleticism, but he knows how to use his physicality plus his quickness together and adapt it to the game today. Now he's ready.
With what you just said, I think that one of the main reasons why he was able to adapt that because of his athleticism. I don't think Cade Cunningham had the athleticism that Amen Thompson had coming in. And I want to go back to what Mars just said about him navigating pick and rolls, pick and pop. Well, one of the things that Amen does differently this year than he did last year, well, he's looking at the basket a lot more. One, at the long ball line, and not just at the long ball line. He's looking to shoot more. So that's something that I feel like that he can improve on as time goes on. So we can teach him how to navigate screens. We can teach him how to pick and pop. We can teach him how to we can teach him how to knock down that 17-footer. Now, if guys go under screens, okay, sure, guys can go under screens. I watched Jamal Murray become an assassin 17, 18 feet. And Jay, I know how you feel about the mid-range jump shot. I do. But I feel like if we can put if we can put that in Amen Thompson's game where he can be effective 17, 18 feet, considering how good he is getting downhill and how smart he is and how physical he is, how much more that opens up the offense. I don't need him to be a knockdown long ball shooter. I do not need that.
I mean, it's not easy to just become a good shooter in general. Like,
no, it's not.
Jamal Murray is one of the best mid-range players in the league. It's not like,
100.
just put that in his game. Like, I wish we could.
I'm not saying that we're putting it in his game right now, but we are going to put it in his game as time goes on. Again, remember, this kid is 20 years old.
Why doesn't everyone just develop into elite mid-range shooters then? If it's just that easy,
I didn't say it was that easy.
In 5 years, and he's just going to become an elite mid-range.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Mars. And I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of guys don't have what Amen Thompson has. A lot of guys don't have his athleticism. A lot of guys don't have his. A lot of guys don't have his skill set. When I watch him look at the long ball line this year, as opposed to last year, when he would only look at it when the shot clock was running down, or when he was in transition and it was a bad shot, he's getting much better shots this year. He's a lot smarter. I feel like as time goes on, we can implement more of those skills into enhancing his game, like coming off screens and looking at the basket 17 feet, like coming off screens and faking and getting downhill. Things like that I feel like can work with him as opposed to with other people because, one, he has the athleticism, and I think the skill set is there too.
But does it work with Houston's offense and what they're trying to do as good as they're
playing? But that's the thing, though, Jay. I'm glad you brought that up. When you have players like Amen Thompson, you change your offense to be conducive. That's what Denver did with Joker. That's exactly what Denver did with Joker. They changed that offense to be conducive to Joker's skill set. And I feel like the same thing happens with guys like Amen Thompson.
I don't know, Chill. I don't know if you changed the offense for I don't know if you changed the offense for Amen Thompson, to be honest with you. I think you just let him, like, I think Mars was cooking when he said, let him just play like point forward. Like, I don't think you need him to be your point guard. Like, and he's right, 100%. The same concept that happened with Ben Simmons. Oh, we so fascinated by what he does in spurts. Let's make that his new normal. Like, no, let's just let him play point forward, let him scrap and do the things he's supposed to do, and let's build a team that, that's conducive to what he does and what, he's good for what the team does. So I don't think you need to just put the ball in Amen Thompson hands and say, Amen, we want you to be our franchise point guard. I don't think it's necessary. Just let Amen do what he's supposed to do. Like, it's just leave it alone. It's working. Why?
I do agree with you, Jordan, but also like encourage Amen to be as aggressive as possible.
Oh, I have no problem with that.
You guys, let me know if I'm tripping. But last night I watched the Houston Rockets play against the Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Şengün, Jalen Green, Drew Holiday, Derek White, and Al Horford were out. But let me know if I'm wrong. Amen Thompson was the best player on the floor last night.
Easy.
Yeah.
He was clearly by far. I'm watching Amen Thompson pick up Peyton Pritchard full court. I think he ripped him one time. Almost ripped him a couple other times. I'm watching him have Jason Tatum in jail. I'm watching him
Drew
get to the
Holiday
rim
on
and
a three in the clutch. Like, he was doing everything.
and also, too, we're seeing the touch from Amen. Like, yeah, he might not be shooting a three. I think he did make a three, but he might not be shooting a three. He might not be shooting mid-ranges, but we're watching him get into the paint.
That floater.
It's not necessary for him to do all of that, Ron.
We've seen the game winner. He get into that sweet spot in the key right there by the hoop, and that's a hard shot to make. A fall away right there.
He's added that this year. Like that Euro step floater, like that's like pretty much bread and butter right now.
Remember the shot he hit over Porzingis?
That was ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm still a Jalen Green guy though. Jalen Green showed me some things last night too that makes me continually think why I love this kid too.
With a patch on his eye, by the way. What a patch on his eye.
He was making some good decisions as a passer and playmaker, especially considering he didn't have
he has the ability to switch directions with the ball. It's like it's futuristic. Jalen Green is
to Jordan's point though, I agree with that. Like, that's what I was saying. The men's one of them players, you don't gotta run offense for him, and you don't gotta put him in to initiate the offense. He's gonna be productive regardless. He's one of them dudes that's gonna make hustle plays. He's gonna get fast break points. He's gonna get major rebounds, offensive and defensive. He's gonna make big plays without being a part of the offense. Not saying that you just stick him in the corner, but you know what I'm saying, you don't have to find shots for him. Amen Thompson's one of them dudes that can average 7 points and be super productive. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those type of players. That's why I say he is a championship level role player. That's not a disrespectful statement. That's not me knocking Amen Thompson. If anything, that's me bigging Amen Thompson up. That's what I'm saying, Mars. A championship point guard is just as valuable as a inconsistent star player. You know what I'm saying? If not more.
These guys don't win championships without these role players, bro. Like, that's the difference between teams winning championships. It's not the stars that has to show up. Them stars gonna do what they do. It's always been the role players, the ones that, like that we I guess you would kind of say look over during the regular season. But in the postseason, boy, them role players gotta step up. You gotta have an 8-man rotation. And if you got maybe you can only play 7, you probably gonna lose. Like, if you can only count on 6,
Jordan,
you
said them star players, they always gonna show up. Amen Thompson, one of them dudes that when your star player don't show up, you good. Like, it's all right. Amen gonna win you 2 games out of a series.
He's just impactful, and like the jump shot is still not good, but him adding the floater and stuff, so like he's still effective away from the rim, like in the paint and stuff. That's extremely valuable. His Euro step is amazing. It's like his go-to move at this point. But like in terms of the 3, like not much has changed. Like all that's happened is now he just shoots corner threes instead of above the break threes. Like that's really what has happened. Ime Udoka decided, we can't shoot, so the only threes you're really going to shoot are in the corners. He's shooting like 34%.
For right now.
For now. Okay. We'll see what the future holds. He's shooting like 34% from 3 in the corners. He's shooting 6% on above the break threes. Like he can't shoot. Like he still can't shoot, and that's fine.
Form is jacked up.
That's probably not going to happen.
I'm not projecting that he's going to become a shooter. Like if he's able to make 38% of corner threes, I think you've won. That's a high end outcome for me. Like the jump shot is probably just never going to be good. But when you're this athletic and you're able to get to the rim and get into the paint whenever you want, and you pass as well as he does, and you're as good defensively as he is, like he can get you 18 without, like Ox said, without doing anything for him. Like 6 points in transition, 4 free throws. You're gonna get a putback. Now you're at 12 points. Then he's gonna cut from the baseline 2 times. That's an extra 4 points. You're now at 16 points, and all you've done is do nothing. He's just playing basketball. He's got 16 points of just transition putbacks and cuts.
I heard Lenny.
Like, it's very easy for him to just be impactful. And then defensively, he's, in my opinion, the best wing defender in the sport. So very, very good.
I heard Lenny Wilkins say Scottie Pippen can get 5 points and dominate the game. That's what you just said, Ox. That's what that sounds like to me.
Yeah.
That's what that sounds like to me when I hear a guy who can be that effective without having to score as much. But I just feel like he can be, in terms of a shooter, I don't need you to be Mark Price. I just need you to be respectable. That's it. And
It's
I feel
hard
like
to become respectable.
you know what else is hard, Mars? Just being a pro is hard. But this guy right here, this guy right here, he's got all the tools to be everything that I think he can be. I think he's got all of them. It's like cooking, Mars. All the ingredients is right there. You just got to cook it. It's all there. All of it.
Sure, the thing with I was going to say 5 seconds, Ron.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that the thing about that, Chill, I think Amen, the difference with him and Scotty is I think Scotty could be that lead guard and you know what I'm saying, facilitate the offense. Another thing too, I think Amen might be able to get to the level of like an older Rajon with the 3 ball. Maybe get to that level where Rajon wasn't shooting it, but if you back off too far, all right, I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe get to that level, but I don't think that jumper's coming.
It's the player choice way. That them boys don't get it started. The player choice way.